Enhance your English.
Hey, English learners, welcome back to Enhance Your English, the podcast where real conversations help you improve your English naturally, one episode at a time. I am Emma.
And I am James. And today, today we are talking about something that makes most people a little uncomfortable.
Oh, yes, today's topic is your strengths and weaknesses.
The things you are genuinely good at and the things you are not so good at.
And I know some of you just felt a little tightness in your chest when we said that word, weaknesses. It is not a comfortable word.
It really is not. But here's why we're talking about it today. First, this is essential language for job interviews. If you ever want to work in an English-speaking environment, you need to know how to talk about your strengths and weaknesses clearly and honestly.
Second, this is deep self-reflection language, the kind of English you need when you are thinking about yourself, your life, your growth. And that is valuable far beyond just interviews.
And third, learning to communicate honestly about yourself is one of the most important life skills, not just in English, in any language, in any situation.
So today, we're going to practice all three: interview language, self-reflection, and honest communication. And we're going to do it through real conversation, just like this.
Now, before we jump in, a quick note. If this is your first time listening to Enhance Your English, welcome. We're so glad you're here.
And if you have been with us for a while, thank you. Truly, your support means everything to us.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to Enhance Your English. Hit that subscribe button, because when you subscribe, you get every new episode as soon as it comes out, and it helps more English learners find us.
Also, tap the like button. Leave a comment, even if it is just one sentence. We read every single comment and we love hearing from you.
Okay, so how should you use this episode to actually improve your English? Here's our suggestion.
Step 1, just listen. Do not pause, do not stress. Just let the conversation flow. Feel how we talk about strengths and weaknesses naturally.
Step 2, listen again. This time, notice the phrases we use. I'm good at. I struggle with. One of my strengths is. Pay attention to the structure.
Step 3, pause and repeat. Shadow our pronunciation, copy our rhythm. That's how your mouth learns to form these sentences naturally.
And step 4, use it. At the end, we'll give you a small challenge, a way to practice this in your own life. That's when learning becomes real.
And at the very end, our word tour: 10 words and phrases from today with clear meanings and examples, so you can review everything slowly.
All right, ready?
Let's talk about strengths and weaknesses.
Let's go. Oh, go ahead.
When someone asks me, "What are your strengths and weaknesses?" my brain immediately goes blank, like completely empty. Nothing comes out.
Really? You? I find that hard to believe.
I am serious. And I think a lot of people feel this way because when someone asks about your strengths, it feels like bragging. And when they ask about weaknesses, it feels like you are exposing yourself.
Exposing yourself, revealing something vulnerable, showing parts of yourself that you normally keep hidden.
Exactly. So you are stuck. If you talk too much about your strengths, you sound arrogant. If you talk too much about your weaknesses, you sound incompetent.
Arrogant, too proud, acting like you are better than everyone else. And incompetent means not skilled enough, not capable of doing the job well.
Right. So how do you find the balance?
That is the million-dollar question. And honestly, I think the key is honesty. Not perfect honesty, where you tell every flaw, but genuine honesty,
Real examples, real self-awareness.
Self-awareness, understanding yourself clearly, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, and being honest about both.
Mm-hmm. Because people can tell when you are just saying what you think they want to hear. But when you are genuinely reflecting on yourself, that feels different. That feels real.
Okay, so let's practice. James, what is one of your real strengths?
Oh, wow. Okay. Putting me on the spot.
That is the whole point.
All right. One of my strengths is I'm good at explaining complicated things in simple ways. People tell me this all the time. I can take something complex and break it down so anyone can understand it.
That is a great strength, especially for teaching. How did you develop that?
Hmm. I think it came from being confused so often as a student. I remember sitting in classes thinking, I have no idea what this teacher is saying. And I promised myself if I ever teach anything, I will make it clear. I will make it simple.
So, your struggle as a student became your strength as a teacher.
Exactly. And that's important, right? Sometimes your strengths grow out of your struggles.
I love that. Okay, now a weakness. What is one of your real weaknesses?
Okay, I am terrible at saying no. Genuinely terrible.
Oh,
Someone asks me to do something, help with a project, join a meeting, review something, and I almost always say yes, even when I do not have time, even when I should say no.
and what happens?
I get overwhelmed. I take on too much, and then I can't do any of it as well as I want to. So my desire to help everyone actually makes me less helpful.
That is really honest, and I bet a lot of people relate to that, the inability to say no.
Yeah, it's something I'm working on, slowly.
And that phrase, it's something I'm working on, that's key interview language because it shows you are aware of the weakness and you are actively trying to improve.
Exactly. You're not making excuses. You're not pretending it doesn't exist. You're saying, yes, this is an area where I struggle, and here's what I'm doing about it.
Perfect. Okay, my turn. Do you want to ask me?
Yes, Emma, what is one of your strengths?
Okay. One of my strengths is I am very organized, almost obsessively organized.
Obsessively, to an extreme degree, so focused on something that it almost becomes too much.
Yes, I have lists for everything. I plan ahead. I think through all the details before starting anything. And this means when I commit to something, I follow through. People can rely on me.
That is huge. Reliability is such an underrated strength.
Underrated, not given enough value or attention. People do not talk about it enough, but it is actually very important.
Yes, so many people are talented but unreliable. You are both. That is rare.
Thank you. Okay, and my weakness. I overthink things constantly.
Overthink. To think about something too much. To analyze every detail until it becomes stressful and paralyzing.
Exactly. Someone sends me an email and I will read it 5 times and I will think, what did they really mean? Are they upset? Should I respond differently? And suddenly a simple email becomes a whole mental event,
I feel this so much.
right? And the worst part is, overthinking does not make me more accurate. It just makes me more anxious. Most of the time, my first instinct was correct, but I second guess myself.
Second guess yourself, to doubt your own decisions or instincts, to question whether you were right even after you have already decided.
Yes, and it is exhausting. So that is something I am actively working on. Trusting my first instinct more, not spiraling into endless analysis.
Spiraling, going round and round in your mind, thinking the same thoughts over and over until you feel stuck or overwhelmed.
Exactly that.
Okay, so we have both shared a strength and a weakness, and I think this is a good model for anyone listening. Be specific, be honest, and if you mention a weakness, show what you are doing to improve it.
Mm-hmm. Because the point is not to be perfect. The point is to be self-aware and growing.
All right, let's get practical. Let's talk about how to actually answer this question in a job interview.
Yes, because this is one of the most common interview questions. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Or tell me about a time you struggled with something.
And people panic. They genuinely panic because they do not know what is safe to say.
Right. So let's break it down. First, strengths. How do you talk about your strengths without sounding arrogant?
Simple. Give a real example. Do not just say, I am a hard worker. Everyone says that. Instead, say, one of my strengths is persistence. For example, in my last role, I worked on a project for 6 months that kept hitting obstacles. But I stayed focused, found creative solutions, and we eventually launched successfully.
Oh, see the difference? You're not just claiming you're good at something, you're showing it with a specific story.
Persistence. The ability to keep going even when things are difficult, not giving up easily.
And what about weaknesses? How do you answer that without sounding incompetent?
Okay, here's the trick. Choose a real weakness, not a fake one. Do not say, I work too hard or I care too much. Everyone knows those are not real answers.
Right. My weakness is I'm too perfect.
Exactly. Instead, choose a real weakness that's not critical for the job. And then, and this is key, explain what you're doing to improve it.
Give me an example.
Okay, let's say you're applying for a teaching job. You could say, one area I'm working on is public speaking. I'm comfortable in small groups, but large presentations still make me nervous. So I've been joining a public speaking group and practicing regularly. I've already noticed improvement.
Perfect. You admitted a real weakness, but you also showed initiative and growth.
Initiative. Taking action on your own without being told. Being proactive instead of waiting for someone else to fix the problem.
And you can see this answer would be a problem if you were applying to be a motivational speaker. But for a teaching job where most of your work is with small groups, it's honest and it shows self-awareness.
Exactly. Context matters. Choose your weakness wisely.
Okay, let me try one. Let's say I'm applying for a project management job. What weakness could I share?
What's a real one that wouldn't disqualify you?
Okay, maybe I tend to focus so much on the details that sometimes I lose sight of the bigger picture. I'm working on this by setting aside time each week to step back and review overall progress, not just individual tasks.
That's great. You admitted a real tendency, but you framed it in a way that shows you understand it and you're actively managing it.
Framed it, presented it in a particular way, chose your words carefully to show something in the best possible light without lying.
Yes, and that's the balance. Honest, but strategic.
Okay, but James, this is not just about interviews, right? This language is useful for life.
Absolutely. Knowing how to reflect on yourself, in English or any language, is such an important skill.
Well, do you use this kind of language outside of interviews?
In relationships, for one, when you are having a difficult conversation with a partner or a friend, and you need to say, I know one of my weaknesses is that I get defensive when I feel criticized. I am working on it, but I need you to know that about me.
Oh, that is powerful. You're not making excuses, you're just being honest about your patterns.
Exactly. Or in feedback situations at work, your manager asks, how do you think you are doing? And instead of just saying, good, you say, I think my strength is building relationships with clients, but I know I need to improve my time management. I'm trying a new system this month.
So, this kind of language helps you communicate with clarity and honesty. It builds trust.
And it also helps you think more clearly about yourself. Because when you practice putting your strengths and weaknesses into words, even just in your own journal, you start to see yourself more accurately.
That is self-reflection, taking time to think deeply about who you are, what you do well, and where you can grow.
And here's the beautiful thing. When you get comfortable talking about your weaknesses, they lose their power over you. They stop being shameful secrets. They just become facts, parts of you that you are aware of and working on.
I love that. Weaknesses as facts, not failures.
Exactly.
Okay, let's do something practical. Let's list some common strengths and weaknesses with real example sentences so people listening can use this language in their own lives.
Great idea. Let's start with strengths.
Strength number 1, problem solving. One of my strengths is problem solving. I enjoy finding creative solutions to difficult challenges.
Strength number 2, communication. I am a strong communicator. I can explain ideas clearly to different types of people.
Strength number 3, adaptability. I adapt well to change. When situations shift unexpectedly, I stay calm and adjust my approach.
Adaptability, the ability to change and adjust when circumstances change, being flexible instead of rigid.
Strength number 4, attention to detail. I have strong attention to detail. I notice small things that others might miss.
Strength number 5, teamwork. I work well in teams. I listen to others, share ideas, and support my colleagues.
Okay, now weaknesses. And remember, these should be real but not job ending.
Weakness number 1, impatience. Sometimes I am impatient. When progress is slow, I get frustrated. I'm learning to trust the process more.
Weakness number 2, difficulty delegating. I have trouble delegating tasks. I want to do everything myself to make sure it is done right, but I'm learning to trust my team more.
Delegating, giving tasks to other people instead of doing everything yourself, sharing responsibility.
Weakness number 3, taking criticism too personally. I sometimes take feedback too personally. I'm working on separating my work from my identity and seeing criticism as a tool for growth.
Weakness number 4, perfectionism. I can be a perfectionist. I spend too much time trying to make things perfect instead of moving forward. I'm learning that done is better than perfect.
Perfectionism, the belief that everything must be perfect, an inability to accept anything less than flawless, which can slow you down or stop you from finishing things.
And notice, in every weakness example, we showed awareness and growth.
That is the key. You aren't just listing flaws, you're showing you understand yourself and you are actively working to improve.
Okay, Emma, let's bring this home. What is the main message of today's episode?
I think the main message is knowing your strengths and weaknesses is not about being perfect. It is about being honest with yourself and with others.
And when you can talk about both clearly, when you can say, this is what I am good at, and this is where I struggle, you build trust, you build connection. You become someone people want to work with.
Because nobody trusts a person who claims to be perfect, but everyone trusts a person who is honest and self-aware.
Exactly. So whether you are in an interview, in a relationship, or just thinking about your own growth, this language matters.
And here is our challenge for this week. Ready?
Ready.
Write down, in English, one strength and one weakness. Be specific, be honest. And if you write a weakness, add one sentence about what you're doing to improve it.
You can write it in a journal. You can write it in the comments below this episode. You can write it in your phone notes. Anywhere. Just practice putting it into words.
Because when you practice in private, it gets easier to say out loud when it matters.
And if you are preparing for an interview, practice saying your answers out loud, in front of a mirror. Record yourself. Ask a friend to listen. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
All right, word tour time.
Let's go.
First word, exposing yourself.
Exposing yourself means revealing something vulnerable, showing parts of yourself that you normally keep hidden or protected.
In today's episode, talking about weaknesses feels like exposing yourself. You are showing something you usually hide.
Another example? She felt nervous about exposing herself by sharing that story, but it helped people understand her better.
Repeat, exposing yourself.
Next, arrogant.
Arrogant means too proud, acting like you are better than everyone else, having an unpleasant amount of confidence.
In today's episode, if you talk too much about your strengths, you might sound arrogant.
Another example, he is talented, but his arrogant attitude makes people not want to work with him.
Repeat, arrogant.
Now, incompetent.
Incompetent means not skilled enough, not capable of doing a job well, lacking the necessary abilities.
In today's episode, if you talk too much about weaknesses, you might sound incompetent.
Another example, the manager was incompetent. He did not understand the basics of the job.
Repeat, incompetent.
Next, self-awareness.
Self-awareness means understanding yourself clearly, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, and being honest about both.
In today's episode, the key to answering this question is self-awareness. You need to understand yourself genuinely.
Another example, she has incredible self-awareness. She knows exactly how she affects people.
Repeat, self-awareness.
Now, overthink.
Overthink means to think about something too much, to analyze every detail until it becomes stressful and paralyzing.
In today's episode, my weakness is I overthink things. A simple email becomes a whole mental event.
Another example, don't overthink it. Just send the message and move on.
Repeat, overthink.
Next, second guess yourself.
Second guess yourself means to doubt your own decisions or instincts, to question whether you were right even after you have already decided.
In today's episode, I second guess myself constantly. My first instinct is usually right, but I doubt it.
Another example, stop second guessing yourself. You made the right choice.
Repeat, second guess yourself.
Now, persistence.
Persistence means the ability to keep going even when things are difficult, not giving up easily, continuing even through obstacles.
In today's episode, one of my strengths is persistence. I worked on that project for 6 months despite many obstacles.
Another example, his persistence paid off. He kept trying and eventually succeeded.
Repeat, persistence.
Next, initiative.
Initiative means taking action on your own without being told, being proactive instead of waiting for someone else to fix the problem.
In today's episode, you showed initiative by joining a public speaking group to improve that weakness.
Another example, she took initiative and organized the whole event without anyone asking her to.
Repeat, initiative.
Now, adaptability.
Adaptability means the ability to change and adjust when circumstances change, being flexible instead of rigid, handling change well.
In today's episode, one common strength is adaptability, staying calm when situations shift unexpectedly.
Another example, his adaptability made him valuable. The job kept changing and he adjusted easily every time.
Repeat, adaptability.
And our last word, confrontation.
Confrontation means a direct and sometimes uncomfortable conversation about a disagreement or problem, addressing conflict openly instead of avoiding it.
In today's episode, I avoid confrontation. I don't like conflict, so I stay quiet when I should speak up.
Another example,
The confrontation was difficult, but it needed to happen. Now everything is clearer.
Repeat. Confrontation.
And those were our 10 words from today. Choose one that resonated with you and try to use it this week.
Remember, you can listen to this episode multiple times. The first listen gives you the feel. The second gives you the details. The third makes it natural.
And our challenge. Write down one strength and one weakness. In English. Be specific. Be honest. Share it in the comments if you feel comfortable.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to Enhance Your English. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Every week, we bring you real conversations on topics that matter.
And tap the like button. Leave us a comment, even just one word. It helps us so much and it helps other learners find us.
Until next time, keep learning, keep reflecting, keep being honest with yourself.
Your strengths are real. Your weaknesses are just areas for growth. You are doing great.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.